Did you ever ask yourself, why am I not more successful? Why are people who are less talented than me in a better place? And then one day you just finally snapped and you took a look at yourself in the mirror and you asked yourself, why am I not in the place where I should be? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make a list of pros and cons and focus on your strengths, but also realize your weaknesses. Because a lot of people choose to ignore the negative part about themselves. Therefore, they can never improve. And if you stick around to the end, I am going to make a list of my strengths and a whole lot of weaknesses, and I'm going to put everything out on the table and critique myself. Trust me, you don't want to miss that because that's going to be a lot of fun. The first thing you have to do is stop blaming others for your failures. No more excuses. Life is tough. Life is unfair. Some people get ahead when they don't even deserve it. You have to be able to take criticism. And there is a difference between actual, real criticism and trolling, and it's very easy to tell the difference. True criticism about you is when multiple different people say exactly the same thing and they can back it up with facts. Trolls don't have any facts. So when a lot of people are saying the same thing about you, well, guess what? The problem is you. In order to change for the better, don't be stubborn. Don't be delusional. A lot of people are stuck in their own bubble and are surrounded by yes men that feed their own ego. Don't be cocky if you have zero results or if you have negative results. You can't say you're the greatest writer or the greatest director or greatest whatever if nobody knows who you are. Or if they do, they all say the same thing. You suck. Sometimes people are stuck in their own head with their own delusions, and they can never advance to become a better version of themselves. Most people think greatness means succeeding or having money or having fame. That's partially true, but true greatness is when you're failing, you are able to learn from your mistakes, adapt and change and evolve to then become successful either for the first time or again. You can't be at your greatest until you are at your lowest. And some people say, but I'm not that talented compared to whoever's out there more successful than they are. Well, here's something I've learned. Sometimes talent is not everything. Sometimes it has to do with luck or with timing, but when all else fails, sometimes persistence overcomes talent. Just the consistency of always doing something. People get used to you, people remember you, and when you're gone for a little bit, people are wondering, hey, where's that guy? I liked what he did. He wasn't the greatest compared to whoever. I liked what he did, and I want to see more. And here's one last thing I'm going to say. Fear and laziness kills. A lot of people fail right off the bat and never realize their full potential. In fact, they waste most of their lives and they waste their talent because of fear. Maybe because they're scared that they're going to fail, but in not doing something, you already failed. And some people are afraid of succeeding. And once you're at the top, a lot of people want to knock you down, and it's a lot of hard work, if not harder, to stay on top than to fight your way up. And the laziness is self-explanatory. People are always saying, not today, I'll do it tomorrow. And eventually, tomorrow turns into weeks and months and years. Tomorrow, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. There might not be a tomorrow. Best time to start is right now. Well, actually, after you watch my video and give it a like and thumbs up, then you can start your adventure to becoming the best version of yourself. So now we get to the part of the video that everyone's been waiting for. I made my own list of strengths and weaknesses, and I'm going to break myself down whether it's good or bad. So just in case you don't know, I am a screenplay writer and officially a published author. So here are my strengths when it comes to writing. I'm really good at writing stories and good plots. I'm great at coming up with new, original ideas. I always try to give you something fresh or put a new spin on something that already exists. I'm really good at writing dialogue, and I'm great at character development. When I write a story, I'm good at making you feel a certain way about this character and making you care about the good guy or the hero and making you hate the villain. And I'm also good at creative writing. If someone tells me, hey, I want you to write a story about this, or I have an idea but I can't figure out how to turn it into a story, I want you to figure it out. I'm able to give you something from nothing, and that's very hard to do. Now here comes the weaknesses. I have a lot of weaknesses, but I'm able to realize what they are, and I'm taking the necessary steps to improve them or fix them. So right off the bat, my first weakness when it comes to writing is I'm terrible at the screenplay structure format. Unfortunately, I have not read enough scripts to really figure out the best format when I'm writing my script. For example, when you introduce a character, you have to describe how they look like. When you're writing a scene, you have to describe what's happening in the scene. You have to write what the reader sees, and I am not good at that. But I'm trying to get better. How? By reading more scripts and trying to find better words to describe visually what the reader is seeing. And sometimes I overextend my dialogue because I get in my head too much and I'm like, oh, this is great. I have to write this because this line is the best. And then this line's even better than the last one. And then instead of having like a 2-minute conversation between two characters, it ends up being a 5 to 10 minute conversation. And then when I go back to edit it, I don't know what to cut out and the movie ends up being too long. So I do have to work on the length of my dialogue. Also, I am terrible at marketing. Just because I wrote a screenplay and I finally published it doesn't mean all of a sudden I'm gonna sell 1 million copies. In fact, nobody even knows I exist. Just like on YouTube, every time I make a video, only a handful of people see my video. And I always ask myself, what the hell am I doing wrong? Because I've seen people make videos on YouTube where you can barely hear what's going on. They're using their cell phone camera and they're pointing it on the ground. I don't even know what the video's about. They don't even label it correctly. They don't put any hashtags. And they get hundreds, if not thousands of views. And I'm saying to myself, what are they doing that I ain't doing? So I stink at technology and I'm kind of stuck in the past and I'm only recently figuring out how to use online social media stuff to finally promote my books and promote myself. That's another thing. I'm not good at selling myself. And I have actually listened to criticism from other people that say, basically, you don't have much charisma. And I'm like, well, that doesn't sound good. How do I get more charisma? And no one's actually been able to give me an answer. And it's kind of hard to have a happy-go-lucky, interesting personality charisma when I'm dealing with a lot of personal issues in my real life, also dealing with a lot of depression. But, like I said, I'm able to take criticism and figuring out how to overcome my weaknesses. When it all boils down to it, all you can really do is be yourself. Don't be fake, because a lot of people can smell fakeness, and just try to be the best version of yourself. So I hope you try this list of strengths and weaknesses. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you next video.